So you're coming to Paris and you want some guidance on your trip. Well, I'm going to tell you 8 things you should not do, as well as several things you absolutely should do in order to have the best experience possible on your visit to the City of Light. Also, make sure to stay until the end so that you can avoid a big fine on the metro. By the way, I'm Erin Tridle from Love in Paris, and I am a Paris resident and friend of WalksDevour. Now, the first thing not to do in Paris is do not wait to get tickets to popular attractions. With almost 50 million people coming to Paris every year, that's a lot of competition for tickets to the Louvre and the top of the Eiffel Tower. Rather, you should make sure that you're getting them ahead of time, because oftentimes those tickets are selling out for weeks in advance, especially during peak tourist season. So you should try to get them a few weeks or even a month before your arrival. Do not start interactions without a greeting in French. So it's the cardinal rule of Paris and France in general to start with either bonjour or bonsoir, always at the beginning of any interaction. And by the way, it's actually considered incredibly rude to start with anything other than hello. Don't be afraid to ask, do you speak English afterwards? And bonus points if you can say it in French, which is parlez-vous anglais? And by the way, not everybody speaks English, so be prepared to pull out a translation app if needed. And if you want to be extra polite, you can end every interaction with merci. And remember, everywhere we go, we're leaving behind an impression of where we came from, so it's important to be respectful of local people and customs. Do not wear new or fancy shoes while out exploring Paris. Here's the thing, Paris is a walking city, and you should be planning to do a lot of walking even if you're taking the metro, which by the way has lots of long winding hallways and a lot of stairs. You should also not plan to break in any shoes while you're here. Make sure you bring already broken in, super comfortable walking shoes so you don't hurt your feet after all that activity. And you should reserve those new or fancy shoes for a night out or a special occasion, and consider taking a taxi or an Uber to and from your destination. Do not speak to random people who come up to you near attractions, especially if they say the phrase, "Do you speak English?" Paris is a pretty safe place generally, but like all big cities, it has some scammers. One of the most common is the clipboard scam, where this person will walk around with a fake clipboard and a fake petition, and their goal is to get you to sign it so they can intimidate you to forking over some cash for their fake organization. If they come up to you, just walk away and do not interact. The same goes for those guys selling cheap friendship bracelets on the famous stairways of the Sacré-Cœur Basilica. While most of these scammers hang around the big popular tourist sites, I am starting to see them pop up in other areas of the city, so be on the lookout. Don't eat right near a tourist attraction. Here's the thing, if you can see the Eiffel Tower, the Louvre, or I don't know, the Arc de Triomphe from your seat at a restaurant, be prepared to pay for that view. So there are some exceptions to this rule, but in general, you might end up overpaying for an only okay meal. Instead, go a few blocks away and look for a place where French people are eating. Bonus points if you can find a place with a chalkboard menu. Typically that means they're serving whatever is freshest from their suppliers. And also, you can try to avoid places that are covered in flower decorations. That can typically mean their prices will be higher for food that's not quite as worth it, but there are exceptions to this rule. Don't underestimate how much time some of these big sites can take. Larger attractions like the Louvre or Versailles are huge, and people really don't realize it until they arrive on the scene and see it for themselves. So if you're going to one of these larger sites, make sure you're leaving a larger amount of time to explore. Sometimes they're a half-day visit or even a full day if you really want to dive into them. And if you want to see Paris with a passionate local guide, Walks has exclusive tours to the Louvre, Versailles, and other popular sites like Notre Dame, Musée d'Orsay, and more. Don't miss out on the lesser-known museums. Everybody knows about the Louvre and d'Orsay, but what about all the other ones? There's tons of museums in Paris, some of which are even free to enter, like Musée Carnavalet in the 3rd arrondissement, or the Modern Art Museum of Paris in the 16th. This one behind me is actually one of my favorites. It's Petit Palais here in the 8th arrondissement. It has tons of art and artifacts, special temporary exhibits, and by the way, it's in a gorgeous building, as you can see. Don't get in trouble on the metro. So visitors will oftentimes take our underground train system called the metro, And here's the thing, they'll accidentally break the rules without even realizing it, but don't worry, I'm here to help. There are some basics that will just get you a bad look, but others will get you fined. If you get caught without a ticket or the correct ticket, you can get fined. Also, if you put your feet on the seats. And be sure that you let people get off the train first before you get on. It's more polite and it's better for the flow of foot traffic. And if you're in the hallways of the metro and you see a bunch of people in uniforms, don't freak out. Those are people who work for the metro and they're just making sure that everybody has a ticket and fining anyone who doesn't. So as long as you followed my tip and you got the correct ticket, you'll be fine. Just scan either your phone or the physical card you got for the metro and you're good to go. For more tips for your trip to Paris and other parts of Europe, be sure to click here so that you can watch more videos from Walks Tours full of helpful tips and advice, and definitely check out our other video on Montmartre.